Hey, Chase with Recon Actual. Today, we are asking an extremely important question. Is the MLX insulated hoodie by Sitka Arrowhead, sold by US Elite, worth the price? Let's find out. So as we've covered in this series before, when asking is something worth the price, you have to consider the performance of the product, your needs for the product, and the price of the product. And what you're looking for is, do all those different variables intersect at your purchasing means? How much expendable income do you have to put towards your performance metrics? Well, only you can answer what you actually need and how much you can spend. But what I can tell you is what this MLX insulated hoodie by Sitka Arrowhead will do for you. And let me tell you, it'll do a lot. So I have been wearing this now for about 6 months. I wore it through the entire winter on the East Coast, and this was by far the most versatile mid-layer I've ever owned, I've ever worn. It's fantastic. I sound a little bit like I'm fangirling out, and honestly, it's kind of because I am. It's one of those things you look at online and you're like, oh, that looks really nice. And you watch some reviews and you're like, oh, it works really well, but you don't really understand it until you actually get to wear it and touch it. It's kind of like the difference in experience versus knowledge you learn in a book or in school or something like that. There's just a tangible difference to it. But what I'm going to try to do is sort of touch those two tips together. Knowledge experience versus the education you can gain through the lens of this camera. So let's start at the top. First off, if you want an in-depth review of the jacket itself and all the high-tech technical features of the fabrics and how it's all put together, check out that video because we also did a deep dive into the jacket. However, overall, what I'm going to say, well, it's got a really nice hood. It's sort of form-fitting here with a slightly elastic hem on the hood. It's not going to be big enough to go over a helmet. This is definitely a mid-layer. It's made to go under something like a hard shell, or, some sort of wind or waterproof layer. So the hood is going to be pretty form-fitting to the head, and it is non-detachable. We do have a full front zip. We've got your, pretty standard exterior pocket on the upper breast, and then on the inside we've got this really nice Polar Tech. This is stupid warm. Like, you see it and you can kind of see light through this and you're like, oh man, it's not going to be super warm. I have absolutely worn this in below freezing temperatures in a sort of a light sort of ice rain mix, and honestly I wasn't out for all that long, but for the time I was out I was completely comfortable and warm, and I actually stayed dry. So while this isn't designed to have any waterproof features, it is water repellent. Moving down, we've got your standard sort of, lower hand pockets. These are going to be big enough to fit all your big phones, a couple of candy bars, whatever you think is important to keep in there. Honestly, it would fit a Glock 19 too, if that's your thing. At the bottom, we again have a nice little elastic hem. We got the good reinforced pull tabs on all of the zippers. And that's sort of it. We've got, again, form-fitted cuffs here with a slight elastic bend. The nice thing about these cuffs is it's not going to get caught. The way the hem actually works on the inside and outside, it's sewn with a double stitch, so it's not going to get caught on things like bracelets, watches, GPSs, whatever you have on your wrist. It will typically rest just behind them so you can access them at all times without having to do that whole jacket pull thing, which can be sort of annoying. Also, these will integrate nicely if you have gloves on within a Velcro closure. It's really easy to pull this all the way up to the glove. It's tight enough that it's going to stay right there. Close the glove over it. Now you've got a full leather seal. All right, but what we're talking about is it worth the price? So at the time of filming, this is a little bit more than $300. However, for the money, you are getting an extremely robust jacket that, like I said, is going to absolutely exceed your expectations for performance. So if you don't have $300 to spend on a jacket, I understand. There's nothing you can do about that. You're going to have to look elsewhere for a more affordable jacket. But if you can swing the money, this is something that's going to hold up really well. So like I said, I've been wearing this for over 6 months, almost every day. I've worn it under stuff, over stuff, under plate carriers, on top of plate carriers, in a variety of different weather conditions. And overall, I can say that the jacket's held up extremely well. Total wear that I'm seeing is a little bit of pilling here on the back where my backpack was resting. So there are some visible wear, but it's not affecting performance at all. not just heat retention, but also water repellent characteristics. And then down here at the bottom, the hem does have a little bit of pilling, but there is no fraying at all. And again, especially if you're wearing a gun belt or you've got a lot of EDC items around the sort of waistline area, it's really common for the hem of a jacket to get kind of ripped up. That is not happening here. Finally, this makes an extremely comfy pillow. Ask me how I know. Put this against the window of an airplane, lights out. Super comfy. Didn't even notice your whole trip or the guy who is sleeping on your shoulder. That was an awkward moment. Anyway, so guys, long and short of it is, to me, yes, this is absolutely worth the money. If you don't have the money to buy it, of course, I'm not going to say put yourself in debt for the jacket. However, if this is within your budget or maybe even a little bit of a stretch, I would absolutely encourage you to pick this up because it really is, like I said, it's hard to believe how warm this thing is, how comfortable it is. It packs down extremely small. It's very, very lightweight. And it's just one of those things. You put it on, and you're good to go. It's really, really impressive. And honestly, that's what we see from Sitka Arrowhead in general. Really, really good, deliberate, high quality design, fabrics, materials, and best of all, customer support in case something goes wrong or you have any questions. If you want to learn more about this, you should check it out at US Elite Gear's website. That's us-elitegear.com or all over their social media. You got any questions, hit them up. They'll get right back to you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Train hard, live free. See you next time.